Hey fellow golfers, in this clip I'm going to cover a very important aspect related to post-round analysis. If you really want to improve and improve significantly and sustain an improved performance, you really ought to, after every round, after every game, after every competition, do a more structured post-round analysis. Don't do it immediately you come off the 18th tee or that final putt. Give it 1 or 2 hours. Settle. Have your post-round meal, plenty of water, and then sit down quietly and jot down a few key things. Let me first start off with a quote from Annika Sorenstam. And she said, in golf, you either succeed or you learn. Really important. Part of the learning process is to feed into a more effective practice system and to know what to focus on in your practice, whether it be it on the range, be it a practice round, be it on a certain aspect of your game in and around the course, or be it on your mental process or even on your pre-game, pre-round preparation. So identifying the key aspects that will help you sustain and improve performance and therefore enjoy the game more is really critical. I would also suggest that you really write these down and take that sheet with you. And I'll come back to examples of how. But there are essentially 3 key questions you need to cover. Start off by what was good? What went well in the round? Did I stay focused through the whole round? Was my short game or scrambling really good? Did I drive well? Did I recover well? Focus on the things that you did well. Then secondly, what could I have done better? So don't have a negative mindset and say bad or worse. What could I have done better? Perhaps I could have hit my second shot into the green better. Perhaps it was my bunker game that was not great. Or perhaps it was that I was hitting the ball left or right, depending on whether you're left or right-handed. And therefore, there may have been a problem with my shot routine, in particular my alignment. So identify the key things that perhaps might be issues or causes that you can then address. Because the third question then is, how do I address that? And make a plan for that, and that is your initial next practice process and strategy. Let me take each of those in turn. It is very natural for people to be rather negative. The number of times I've asked people who've come off the course or after a round and I've said, how was your round? They always start with a negative. Oh, I drove badly. Oh, it was terrible weather, and so I didn't play very well. Oh, I just got so distracted by the wind and the rain. So people tend to start with self-doubt and negativity. Avoid that. Start with the good points. Put that in your memory bank. Remember and recall those good shots, even the same evening, the night before another round, because that will help you start very positively and give you confidence in your game and in your swing. Indeed, celebrate those good moments. And by the way, on the things you didn't execute very well, forgive yourself. Golf is a difficult game. Then, what could I have done better? And I would again suggest you limit yourself to a maximum of 3 things. You can't fix everything. What were the 2 or 3 areas that I could have had slight improvements, or I could work on more? It may be a technical aspect, it may be a mental aspect. Jot down the 3 things, because that then leads you into how and your practice plan. So let me take you through an example of my most recent round this morning. So what went well? Well, I hit probably 75 to 80% of fairways. So that went really well. Where I missed the green, I scrambled really well. I got up and down in almost every situation, whether it was close to the green or even as much as 60, 80 yards away from it. Whether I was short-sighted or had a bump and run, I did the scrambling really well. So really pleased with that. My attitude was very good. I remained focused. I followed my pre-shot routine. I executed overall very well. And I remained calm and collected when I had a missed shot. Didn't let it bother me. I just saw the next shot as a great challenge, hence the scrambling. What was not so good? Probably what was not so good was my second shot on the par 4s into the green. I was either short, or in my case, as I was left-handed, a little right off the green. So I needed to think about a couple of things as I go forward. Perhaps I need to redo my course plan and management so that I take a longer club for my second shot, especially in the cases where I seem to have been short. On the issue of me going a little too right, perhaps I need to check my alignment. It is a tendency of mine, so I find I have to move my right shoulder around a little more, almost to the point where I think it's closed. Because in fact, that gives me a square alignment. So 2 points for me to work on. So I've already identified, as you see, my how. So what am I going to do about it? Well, I'm going to do a maybe 1 to 2 hour practice session on the range where I do vary the club I use for the same distance to see in effect I should be taking the longer club. I'm going to check my posture and alignment and make sure that my club face is not too closed, and that's the issue that's causing me to go right. Then I'm going to take that onto a practice session on the course, perhaps on a specific hole, and play that hole a couple of times in a quiet time, testing and checking just that. So I really try working on that in real time, in real conditions. Let me add that you should not just focus on your shots. Clearly your swing and your shots are key. Focus on equally, when you're doing your post-run analysis, did I prepare properly? Did I do enough stretches? Did I do the warm-ups? Did I eat the right things and eat well? Did I drink plenty of water? Did I get sufficient amount of sleep? So think about also what went right in the preparation, not just in the shots and the swing. Secondly, specifically think about your course management. In fact, I hit okay, but I managed 2 or 3 of the holes not very well, and I should have taken a 3-wood instead of a driver on that particular hole. I should have not gone for the hero shot on hole number 4. I should have actually just recovered, and as my scrambling was so good, in fact I would have probably got a par instead of a bogey. So was my course management partially something I need to address? Then also focus on your shot routine. Did I do a complete shot routine? Did I breathe properly? Did I visualize? Did I stay focused? Did I then blank out and reduce muscle tension and trusted my swing? Think about all of those aspects when you're doing the post-round analysis, because it could be that it's not that you're swinging the club badly for your skill level, but in fact it's one or other of those other dimensions. Very important to look at those things, both the good things and the things that you could do better. Next, I would actually go as far as saying you should grade yourself on all these dimensions, and I've put a few of the dimensions up on the screen here, so as not to repeat them all. Grade yourself, and I have developed for myself a score sheet where I give myself marks, and I will put that up here, and you could develop something similar, a post-round analysis scorecard that includes a process scorecard. As part of all of that, I also look at issues like self-talk. Did I give myself the right self-talk? Did I use the phrases like nice and easy? Or maybe that wasn't working, I need a different phrase. Maybe it's just stay calm. Perhaps some of my self-talk phrases need developing. So I look at all the dimensions and obviously focus in on the 2 or 3 to improve. So if you look at the sample that I've put above, I've marked myself, or I've given, in this case, a set of dummy marks on what I did very well, excellence, and what needs work. And out of 140, I've marked that particular round as 70 out of 140. So there were some things I did really well. And so obviously it's good for me to positively reinforce myself with those. Those that need work, I should make part of my practice plan, part of my improvement of my shot routine. Just an example, on this particular marking, you'll see the diet and nutrition was a low mark. Breathing was a low mark. So obviously those are 2 areas that I want to practice. So let's say it's the breathing. I want to improve my breathing technique. Have a look at the clip I've just recently done on breathing and breathing methods and techniques. Perhaps I need to practice those again, get into a daily routine of doing it standing up with a club, so that I already learn to remember to involve that as part of my shot routine, as part of my preparation before the first tee, where perhaps my drive is not as accurate as on the other holes. That's really mental. So I need to improve that process to be able to put my marks up there. So this is the way you begin to use the post-round analysis for significant improvement, and therefore a way to sustain improved performance, and of course, because of that, much greater enjoyment of the game. And then you take that into your practice system. Have a look at the clip on what constitutes an effective practice system, because this is food for that, and the result of that you can take to the course. I hope this focus on post-round analysis is helpful to you. We will come on to another clip soon. Do subscribe. That covers how do you prepare well for a competition, and what are all the key elements that make up that good preparation. See you on the flip side, my friend.